Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Peacemaker series review. I gotta find a better way of talking about our TV shows. Like the movies are so easy because it's just but like the show. I'm not sure. Fuck, I'm not sure. But this is episode 5 of Peacemaker. As usual, we do a spoilers review, but we'll give our non-spoilers. I am the calm Travis Snell, and I'm joined by
The bully, Kirklin Patzer.
Optimus Prime, Taylor Field.
Gonna throw you a curveball, Taylor. Where can they find everything?
Ladies and gentlemen, you can find us with your internet connection in the search bar, ladies and gentlemen. GeekVerse podcast is our Facebook. Oh, that's a curveball. GeekVerse our Twitter. Fuck. GeekVerse.ca is our home base. GeekVerse cast our Twitter. GeekVerse on the Facebook. There you go.
Nice. And yeah, go back as we were just talking off air. We completely forgot what week it was and what we did. That's because we're pushing out so much content. I mean, Taylor did a newscast this week. Kirklin and I did a newscast this week. Boba Fett review, that was a big one. I feel like there's other stuff. There's just so much stuff that happens that I just forget about. But yeah, that's why the best thing, go to social medias and we'll be updating you next week. I think it will be dropping February 1st, but we're going to be doing live. We're going to have our 2022 Town Hall. We got some fun little announcements, some updates, and just some exciting news. Some people know about it, but or might have guessed it, but still, we're very excited. And yeah, so you want to tune in that. And even if you just don't even want to know about the news about the podcast, if you just want to know the content we're putting out this year, we're going to tell you all like the retrospectives we're doing this year, our kind of game plan. So that's going to be really fun. And then February 5th, right? That's next Friday, right? I keep forgetting it was the 4th because I changed
I thought it was
the date.
4th.
Fourth is the Friday.
February 4th at 6 p.m. PST, the GeekVerse Gauntlet is back, and I'll do a bigger explanation of this later on next week. But if you don't know, it's our gaming esports league. It's us kind of having a good time, rallying up, but it's all for pride and competition, and it's about video games, and we play each other. There's rivalries, there's feuds, and this one is the new level. As we've said before, this year we're doing 5 events a year, 4 kind of event streams, and then the finales like our charity stream and whatnot. So this is our new system. It's gonna be big events, multiple matches, and we got Taylor versus Dylan Halo Infinite and Kirkland and myself for the much long-awaited sports title match, best of 3. So it's gonna be a good time. I'm looking very forward to it. I wish I was less busy, so I had some time to maybe practice. But the good thing is I looked, I'm like, oh, it's just Kirkland, so I know I can beat him pretty easily. You know, in the past it's been kind of tough, but right now I'm on a roll. You look at our records right now. Kirkland's going down. I'm going up. First triple title champion, right here, coming very soon. You know,
I wish you luck.
I don't need it. I just need me.
I hope
just
not.
need me. But yeah, and then I'm trying to think what else is coming up. We're on the march to the Batman. We got soon to be just like 4 weeks away. Soon we'll drop our first comic versions. There's going to be 3 of them for Batman. It's going to be Batman Year 1. So a good time. So have I missed anything, gentlemen?
I think you nailed it. You did a swell job.
Links down below. Podcast Network, Patreon. I missed that. Best way to support us, go there. And because of people that supports Patreon, you'll have a lot to do with what we announced. Last week we did After 9, which was a ton of fun. But because of your support, we couldn't do this without you. And because of your support, that's why you're getting the new content, plus ad-free, exclusive early episodes. Good stuff. The Discord, our separate feeds, all that good things. Taylor Field, how did you feel about Peacemaker Episode 5? Your non-spoiler thoughts.
Literally just off the press right now.
Right.
I haven't watched this episode. It is
Ooh,
fresh.
still
in the
hot.
brain. It was a good time. I wouldn't say it was like my favorite of all of them right now. Like I really enjoyed it, and I'm not. When I say that, like I don't mean like
You
throw
hated
shade
it.
at
He hated it.
Yeah, I just hated it. Just
1
horrible
out of 10.
show. But no, it's just yeah, I like the other episodes a lot more than this one. I think this one just
Like
felt
all
kinda
the
like
other?
just- No. I probably would pick episode. I'd probably go episode 3, to be honest.
That's better
one-
than this?
I would say so. I just
So
like
really,
how it
this
was
is
kinda
ranked
like,
as number 2, though.
No, I put it top 3.
Okay, it keeps descending.
Top three of the 5.
He's all over the map. It's not as good as the others. Oh, which others? Well, just number 3. Well, okay,
you want
now that's top 3.
specifications?
Well, it was all. He went from saying it was like the very bottom of the list to it might be number 2. So I was very confused there. For a second.
Episode 3 is my number 1 favorite. Episode 4 is my second favorite, and this one would be my third favorite. I just like the progression that we've been getting so far, and this one felt like it was a little more of like a filler in that sense. But it was like a lot of action, a lot of stuff I really liked. The jokes were good, but not on point with like Berenstein Bears one that I really got to me and stuff. Just some other kind of jokes and stuff that were they were good. But I mean, overall, like again, it's no flack to this episode. It was a good time, but yeah, it just felt like a little bit more of a filler than really a story progression, except for a couple things. But that didn't happen to really the end. That we thought, okay, we're getting a little bit more progression here, and we do learn a few new things, but nothing super extensive, I guess.
Well, I'll go next because I feel like I'm pretty in line with Taylor. The only thing I'll push back is I feel like this was like a vital team building episode, and to keep this in the most non-spoilers ways, like I feel like each member had a moment where they grew to like each other more in a sense, and had an appreciation for them being an actual team. That goes to every character. It's all minor pieces of it, but it does happen. So I think this was really just okay, we want to have an episode of these guys not clowning around, but being together and really starting to rely on each other and grow some sort of bond. So I think they did that well. But I think I'm the same as you, that this feels more in line with the first 3 episodes we got, because I guess that, but like I think I'm a little bit different than you because I have episode 4 as my favorite and then 3, and then I'd probably put this one on the other 2. I have very similar, for some reason, somehow similar things as Taylor, where not all the jokes hit for me. I felt it was good. There's like one joke in particular that really hit for me, just like hit a home run, and I am excited to shout it out. But then there's one joke that I didn't really like, and it just went on, and I could tell John Cena and the crew were having a good time with it, but I was not having a good time with it, so it just kept going on and on. It might have something to do with Taylor's name. It just kept beating me over the head. So, like I said, I wouldn't necessarily call this a filler. I'm not trying to throw Taylor on the bus. I don't think it's that harsh. Like, I don't think it's a Boba Fett episode, but I do think it's like, you can't skip it because some vital things happen. And don't worry, Tay. I don't think there's too much filler in Boba Fett. I'm just saying some stuff because I'm seeing you like tweets on Twitter when you're just like, "Look at the Boba Fett haters now." I'm like, "Yeah, was this week really a Boba Fett episode? Not really.
I was gonna comment
not really.
To go do a very sketchy tweet and be like, "Yeah, we're all these bandwagoners now." But I thought,
yeah, I think the problem is we just didn't watch Boba Fett this week. Check out our spoilers review. But lots of things do happen in this episode. I think it's a good setup, but not a knockout. Like, not that the other ones were home run, but not one of my favorites as far as, I guess it is top 3. But 3 and 4 felt a lot stronger than this. So, Kirkland, where are you on it?
Yeah, I really like this episode, actually. It's probably my, I don't know, close to my favorite, second favorite. I think a lot of the comedy really worked for me. I was quite chuckling. I was chuckling quite a bit throughout the episode, and there's some jokes that like made me belly laugh, and it was just a fun time. And I think like this episode, you guys were, I don't know, bouncing around the idea. It's partly like a filler episode or like a team building episode. I feel like this is what the show is, and if every episode is like this, I think I'll be okay with it. Maybe like pick it up a little bit for the finale. I mean, at the end of this episode, it's kind of leading us in a direction that'll probably mean next week is a lot more high stakes than this one. But that being said, like I think this is good. It's solid. And yeah, I really liked all the team building aspect of it. That was kind of definitely the theme of the episode, I'd say, and they did that really good. And just John Cena's being John Cena, and I'm loving that. It doesn't matter if the rest of the people are terrible. I think John Cena's enough for me to watch this, but all the people aren't terrible, so that helps. And in previous review, I said Adebayo, like I wasn't loving her that much. I am starting to like her more. From this episode, she had some good moments with John Cena and some of the other cast. So I'm growing on her, and yeah, all in all, I think it was a solid episode. What number is this? This is 5, and out of
so
what?
3
8?
more.
Yeah. Okay.
Not many.
Not many. No.
Not many at all, Master Baggins. That's not a line from the movie. That's a line from the book, by the way.
Do you like the names for the episodes? They're always like, I feel like they have like a phrase or something, but they just switch like a word out to be
Monkey
like,
Dory.
Yeah,
it's fine.
Dory.
Yeah, like it pops me a little bit, but I'm not like,
you're like, that's the one right there. Emily, they said Monkey Dory.
I wake her up at 1 a.m. Look at this. No, I actually had an experience last night where I was reading Batman Year 1, and then I got sleepy, so I'm like, I'm gonna sleep a little bit. Woke up at 1 a.m., watched Peacemaker, then went back to sleep. I don't know what I was doing, but I was like, well, I'm up, so and then I actually put it on again this morning while I was doing like podcast notes, because okay, in case I missed anything. But lucky, I I wasn't tired when I was tired, but I wasn't like, oh, I'm zoning out. Like, it does have a good pace. I think that's a good thing. Like, it has a good pace. Never feels like it's wasting a moment. It's like, and there's some fucking wild stuff that actually happens in this episode. Like, I kind of forgot kind of what happens with the chainsaw for a second. So, yeah. Anything else non-spoilers? Okay, so if you've not seen the episode, tune out. If you have, we'll be right back after this ad break. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. So, where do we want to start off first?
Start with that chainsaw.
Yeah,
Get
so
right into that whole thing.
I appreciated it on multiple levels. Of one, just okay, Vigilante says like, I'm gonna bring this chainsaw. They shoot him down. James finds a way to bring it in, and they just fuck up that gorilla. Now, that's what was interesting because there is this gorilla. Like, he doesn't talk per se. Like, I guess he does sometimes, but there's a very big flash field named Gorilla Grodd, and he's also like a gorilla. He's from like Ape City. He has like telekinesis. He does talk and stuff like that. So when this monkey started to talk a little bit, they did say he was Charlie, so he's not Gorilla Grodd. But they're definitely like putting little. Not that I'm saying James Gunn is going to tackle Gorilla Grodd, but they're definitely sprinkling some little like DC kind of lore in there, which I appreciate. They've done the whole time. Like this episode, they confirmed that Peacemaker caught Kite Man at one moment, which was great to see. He's a Batman villain, so good on Peacemaker. But it was just so shocking because I was so in my head of, hey, is this Gorilla Grodd? What could this be leading to? Could they be setting this up? And I'm like, literally in the moment where I'm like, man, I hope this monkey survives because maybe it'll get us to Gorilla Grodd. The chainsaw like went in at that exact moment. I was thinking about, oh, hey, maybe he's going to survive. And I was like, no, Charlie. And yeah, that gorilla got fucked up.
Yeah, because they were, I forget what episode it was, but they, on the radio or the news, they mentioned like a gorilla had escaped from the zoo or something like that. And they said it a couple times. I want to say maybe even spread across 2 episodes. I'm like, okay, this gorilla's going to pop in sooner or later. And then when they went in the back room there and Adebayo and John Cena. It was John Cena,
Peacemaker.
Right? No.
Chris.
Was it them together?
James. Vigilante. Harcourt.
Harcourt and Vigilante, right? Were the original? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so they got fucked up. I'm like, oh shit, this is where the gorilla comes in. And I thought it was going to be like a big villain there. Not really. He took a tragic end. Pretty gruesome. Very Mortal
Again,
Kombat,
though, CGI looked
brutality.
great on the gorilla, I think.
I think Eagly looked better, but I will agree with you. Yeah, like it could have looked god-awful, and it didn't.
Yes.
So
No,
credit to them.
Yeah, and I just like John Cena wrestling with a gorilla at one point, But yeah, when Harcourt got hit, she fucking flew, and that's when I like had this realization, and I'm like, right, these are just regular people; they're not super powered, so this could really do some damage. But luckily, Charlie got chainsawed, So
Charlie got chainsawed. That's right.
Taylor Field, you wanted to open it with the gorilla and the chainsaw. Taylor,
I feel like my connection to you guys is really bad. Both of you are so laggy for me.
You're a little choppy.
well, it's literally nothing happened on my end. You look good. Taylor looks good. Taylor, we were asking you. You wanted to bring up the chainsaw first. What were your thoughts on the chainsaw? He just looks like he's being an asshole, not answering my question. Like,
all right.
Did you murder those women, Taylor Field? You with the Bay Harbor Butcher. Why'd you do these things, Charlie? And Charlie's like, tonight you'll get your answers, all these things. So well, anyways, that's gone. So I want to know, as far as I like that Taylor said, I'll hop back on, just keep talking. No, we're gonna fucking sit here.
Oh, wait.
We're just waiting, everybody. No, I want to ask you because you said lots of
dead
yeah, for 15 minutes. Is something wrong? 1 star. I want to ask you. So for me, the joke that really didn't work, I did not like when they're James and Peacemaker talking of like, oh, you framed my dad. Yeah, who else was I gonna frame? I was on short notice. And John Cena just goes on a list and he names like Ozzy Osbourne, Sharon Osbourne, and these are one of these moments where I like people doing improv, and if it flows, it's great, especially in the moment because I feel like it makes things more natural. But then there's times where it just comes off as John Cena is it's just trying to rattle off any name. And I've been there, like when we're talking about Gauntlet, there's been times where I cut a promo, like I have it so well thought out, I know what I'm going to say, or I'm just vibing in that moment. And then there's other times where like, oh yeah, I definitely feel like I'm reaching for some like good material. And that for me is what that moment felt like. And it just went on for so long. It may be just like a minute, but the whole time, like I didn't even find the setup of the joke that funny. So it kept going and going and stuff like that. And I imagine because Taylor had Optimus Prime in his name, he shouted out Optimus Prime, so I guess he liked that. But that was one joke that didn't hit with me. And a lot of the jokes, I'd say, like in the first 15 to 20 minutes were either fully not hitting or just hitting on a little amount for me. And it kind of ramped up as we went along.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. Well, definitely agree with you on that joke. I was kind of just like on my phone as he was listing off names because I was just like, okay, this isn't hitting for me. The one that really hit me, I think it was in that same sequence, was when he's just, again, from my name, he calls him a bully. And he's like, no, I was bullied by people constantly saying that I was bully. And they, and like that back and forth dialogue was just so great because, again, it's touched upon kind of what we mentioned, I think from the first episode, of just how much of an absolute like idiot and like douchebag like this character, like Chris, can be
naive too. He has no idea.
Oh yeah, like he has no idea, and he's just like, what are you talking about? You know, like the same line when it's like, oh, you like some chick blew you. He's like, no, we fully fucked. Like he just thinks like that's
we fully fucked, dude.
Yeah. And like those lines really work for me, and it's all from John Cena. So again, I think that's really what's carrying the show. I mean, I'm kind of just repeating what we've said from the beginning of just this is like John Cena just going ham on the role, and it's really working for me. I'm really liking that.
Yeah, but it always shows because I think it's a combination of John Cena does the role well, but it's also just funny to put John Cena in these type of situations, I feel like. So yeah, no, like I said, it's that one went on a little too long for me. The other ones that like weren't really hitting is when they are like driving and he's like, what's that sound? And they're like, oh, it's probably like Vigilante like quietly farting. I was like, and then he's making the fart noise with his mouth. Now here's the thing where I guess where it doesn't bug me is all these jokes that don't land like completely fit with who Peacemaker is. So that's why it doesn't bug me. I'm like, yeah, he would be this, and that's why he would be like the annoying jock sort of guy. But oh yeah, for me it was just like not hidden and everything like that. So it was nice to see that what's his name, Vigilante's like kind of really a part of the team now. You know, he's there. So
yeah, no, absolutely. And I am liking this character. I think I've been pretty much the same on him from the get-go. Like for one, I like his suit. It's very Power Ranger-y, and not all of his humor works for me, but like majority I'd say works for me. I like when they're just discussing about like the butterflies and just taking over animals, and he just like randomly shouts out like a chihuahua. Like he's just such an idiot, and they're like, how would that work? You tell me. Like for whatever reason, I don't know if it's just like the line delivery, just made me laugh. It was a good time. It's one of those jokes that I feel like majority of people wouldn't laugh, and it just gets me. I'm like, yeah, okay, that was funny.
Yeah, no, I am starting to like him a bit more. Last week helped because just they gave some layers to the character, but I feel like he is just fitting as such like the bonehead friend. And I will like retract what I said in the first 3 episodes. I thought, and maybe it could happen, but I thought they were painting out to be like such a psychopath that a turn could happen. I feel like they're going such the other way right now with Peacemaker and Vigilante, as far as like I don't see some sort of turn and things like that. But one thing I gotta say, like that gorilla, like he was really scary. But something that's even scarier is this picture that Taylor just sent us of his Wi-Fi rocking a nice 15 ping 2.6 like what is that megabyte download speed, like 2.6. Oh my god,
probably like KBS.
Yeah, so if you want to look on the YouTube, but yeah, so Taylor might not join us for Peacemaker because he just said, Shaw, you're fucking done. He's not gonna do anything. He's gonna keep his Shaw subscription, and that's the end of the day and everything.
What I will talker. He's a big barker, no biter.
100%. What I was gonna say, the joke that hit for me, and there's been some really funny ones, so I don't know if I have like a ranking and stuff. But so they have this idea of, okay, so they're going on a mission. The idea is they've found maybe like a factory or something that's going to hold a lot of these butterflies, right? Or just something big and important. We're going to go take it out, see what's going on. So you know where I'm going with this.
I think so, yes.
They don't know for sure what's going on here. So they've broken off in their teams, Hardcore and Vigilante. Yeah. And Abaye, that's how you say her name, right? Adebayo and Peacemaker, they break off and they go inside, and then they walk in and they split off. And Peacemaker says, "X-ray vision activated." And then Adebayo goes to this old woman, says like, "Hi," and she's like, "Oh, hi, how are you?" And then Adebayo's like, "Oh, we're fine. Like, I just want to ask you some questions." And then the old lady's like, "Oh, of course." And then her head just blows up, like, and you don't even see John Cena like aiming or anything.
Oh, yeah.
She just gets shot, and that was something I like literally like started to like cough and like belly laugh. I couldn't leave it.
Definitely.
I even rewound it because I was like, "Fuck, that was so fun." "Oh, hi, how are you?" And then like he's proven right because he has the X-ray vision. He sees that the butterflies are in their brains, but holy fuck! And then he just goes Terminator on them all. And she's like, "I told you to be calm." He's like, "What do you mean? I'm completely calm. Look at me." Oh fuck! That to me, like I said, might be the funniest thing in the show so far.
Yeah, that real like exact same thing though. Like I was expecting like a dialogue there or something. I was on like when he put on the X-ray, I thought it was gonna be like a moment for some comedy. Maybe he's just like staring at the chick's chest or something like that. No, just it's like you said, it's not. You don't even see John Cena. Her head just absolutely explodes, and he doesn't just stop at her. Like he goes at all the other workers too, and like it's just Adebayo freaking out. Like what the fuck just happened?
Peacemaker just massacring these people and
yeah.
everything like that, and
He's just so calm. Yeah.
yeah.
What are you talking about?
And that's where I wonder now, I guess, because he's had them confirm that they are like, even though those kids, they were confirmed to be butterflies because they had that big tongue and everything, but
Yeah.
he seemed a bit more cooler with the killing now. So I'm just wondering, I think we'll get more on that. Is it because they're confirmed that these are butterflies, could be a threat, or is it just simply that they're not kids? Because in the past he said he's killed kids, but maybe he's turned around, but I don't know, maybe he feels like he has something to make up for.
I bet it's because he's got the Dev of Peace on those weapons that he brought in.
That's true. Yeah, they're custom or anything like that. But man, that was just
The shock
so well
factor really got me, like 100%.
And
It's
it's
like
like,
he's going in there like ready to kick ass, but it's like okay, we'll find out how long it takes for him to kick ass, just right off the hop.
because he like veers to the sides, like you said. I thought either he's gonna like do some of the X-ray or he's just gonna investigate. Like she's buying him time, and I just like whoever it was, whether it was James Gunn or the editor that decided not to show John Cena like line up. Or whether it's, yeah, fantastic. Because like it still would have been funny, but not as funny. It was just so sudden, and they make that old lady so nice, and her head is just fucking gone. And yeah, I've watched that 3 times. I'm excited for people to cut that out on Twitter, and I hope that just like pops up on my timeline every once in a while. Because if I need a good laugh, man, it's just and Adebayo, she sells it so good, you know. And we didn't talk about her, but she's like the job's like finally really getting to her as far as just the pressure of it, the pressure of not always being with her wife. She gave this like very frantic like phone call and everything like that. So again, that's where I say that to me it wasn't like a filler episode, because we learned like Harcourt is starting to kind of warm up to people in the team. Peacemaker and James are starting to like, you know, bond a little bit. Vigilante's vigilante. He kind of got his like character development last week with realizing, okay, he really hates like big racists and people like he's not like a shady guy. Like he's, you know, he might be vigilante, but he has like a moral code. And then you had Adebayo, who's like, you know, kind of might be realizing not that she's in over her head, but this just might not be what she was exactly expecting or wanting, or maybe her hands are getting too dirty. So that's why I feel like each character was getting a moment, even that moment in the truck after they do the mission and they're laughing and Harcourt takes the picture. Very uncharacteristic like, but they're doing that in like a way of showing she's developing, she's growing, she's getting attached to these people. Now that can lead to some bad things because some people might get lost or she might make a mistake and be compromised, but I feel like each character is getting little moments of why you should care about them or this ragtag, you know, Berenstein happy Apple gang or whatever, you know.
Yeah, I think the one that surprised me the most was Harcourt. Actually, she had like a big turn of just really being one of the gang, especially she's just had such a tough exterior this entire season. Just really like putting up those barriers. And this one, like she like started the group chat, right, and like sent the photos and just really seems to be coming around. And definitely surprised me the most. I like that turn. But yeah, like you mentioned, everyone kind of had those moments. Like Economos, I always feel like I'm saying that name wrong. It just doesn't.
That's why I just call
roll
him
off the
John,
tongue.
because I don't feel like I
John,
can
yeah.
pronounce it right, so I always say John.
Diebeard, I guess.
Or, and I think I called
him.
him James, so I keep screwing that up too. So there you go. I call him James and go. So people, I'm talking about John, right? His name's John Economos, right?
I want to say yes, but I feel like you're screwing me up now.
I'm
'Cause
gonna
now
take
I'm
a
like
look. Yeah,
overthinking it.
yeah, I'll find out for
Diebeard.
sure.
Uh,
Yeah,
he,
Diebeard, exactly.
he had a good moment of just because he's just basically been bullied by Peacemaker this entire season, and then now they're like broing out. They had some middle ground to meet of just like really loving the same band. That was kind of a nice moment. I don't know.
He has a
Yeah,
tattoo of the band. I
Yeah.
think it's like, I think he's starting to realize like they are very different, but he's like, Peacemaker is going, okay, we're not so different after all. Like, it's a classic trope, but
Yeah.
that's what happened. And it is very, like, not that he's like copying. Yeah, it's John Economos, whatever. But yeah, Diebeard, Economos. See, that's why I don't want to say it, but Diebeard.
Yeah.
It is very Guardians like, right? If like James Gunn is good at that, like putting random people together that maybe disrupt or
True.
don't get along at first, and then they find common ground, and that's what they're starting to do with these people.
Yeah, it's a good comparison because it is again just like a ragtag team.
Yes.
This one's a little bit more vulgar and ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, I don't know. Depends what your examples are there. But like just the Adebayo moment that I think this is really what won me over on the character was the moment with her and Peacemaker at his trailer.
Yes,
at the end of
very
the
good.
episode. That was really, really good. Her just like breaking down, like you just put up these defenses to just, you know, because you're insecure with yourself, and then when you get to know him, he's actually a nice guy, and that was a really nice moment. Again, it helps both characters grow, I feel, because Peacemaker will just have this in his memory of having that moment with her. Maybe he'll second get. Well, actually, it happened earlier in the episode too when Adebayo kind of confronted him, like, "Why do you always bully him?" And that's when we got the great line of just. I was bullied as as a youth too. People kept accusing me of being a bully. But again, like that was just another moment of her like breaking down, you know, his barriers and just getting him a little bit more vulnerable. And that's kind of been happening throughout the season. I think she's the one that is able to get through to him the most. That's a fun
100%,
dynamic.
yeah.
And I think because of that dynamic, I am starting to be sold on Adebayo more.
She got that journal back in without him seeing, so again, you know, that was good.
Yeah, I was gonna like, did I miss the significance of that? Because she took it originally.
Well,
Or they-
I wonder if it's either two things. Either she took it and learned something that we're going to find out later on that she learned, or to me, what I was reading from this, that she took it and maybe couldn't go through with keeping it, or someone wanted some information, so she like put it back. It's like, I just can't do this, you know? But
'Cause
I don't know.
Yeah, because I thought there was a message that was shown in this episode where it was from Amanda Waller, like something, make sure to get the journal back into his house.
Yeah.
And I think that's the whole reason why she was really there. She's also a good person, so she was kind of just like winning Peacemaker over there. I had to ask because I felt like maybe it was explained and I just completely missed it.
No, I think they're keeping
they'll
that one
definitely
to the
explain it.
chest.
Yeah, they'll
and
definitely explain it coming
And
up.
that's where with them, like I'm glad you showed that because that was gonna be my next shout too. Is this moment? There's lots of good. I love how they open up. She's like, "Are you just one of those weird straight guys that wants to try and fuck lesbian?" He's like, "No, I just want to hang out with you, like just talk and stuff." Like, and it's great because like really he did want to hang out with her, but he really wanted to talk about his potential feelings for hardcore, which was nice.
Yeah.
And another line that I love, she's like, "You can't talk about her pussy and you can't talk about her titties." He's like, "What am I supposed to do when I'm fucking her?" And she's like, "Well, you know, like there's steps before that." Like it's good. And he was like, "Oh, it's just nice to have someone to talk to like this now." That's why I think they're gonna go the route of she got that journal, Waller got some dirt on him, even more so or something. And when either that dirt gets out or he finds out that she is Waller's daughter and maybe they're using him again, I think this relationship could splinter a little bit. You know, it's kind of set up, it's doomed. So I don't know if that'll be this season. James Gunn today, there's two developments where he said he pretty much confirmed season 2. He said everyone's just waiting to cross the T's and dot the I's. And he said with everyone meaning me. I pretty much what I read between the lines is I'm going to finish making Guardians 3, and then when that happens, then we'll start talking, because he's in the production. He's currently filming Guardians 3, so I think when Guardians 3 happens, they're going to drop that. He'll pop off. He's going to be a DC guy, because they also, so I don't know who he did an interview with, because facts were coming out today that he said they're already working on a different Suicide Squad character spinoff as well for HBO Max. So right now, DC is in the James Gunn business. Like there's potential Peacemaker season 3 or season 2. There's a potential other show he's working on, and then a Suicide Squad spinoff. That's 3 shows he's working on right now for DC. So I think they are thinking long game. So I think you'll get an ending to the show, but I think you'll have something that could set up stuff for season 2, and maybe a bio and him splintering might be a case, because like we have 3 episodes, and luckily I don't feel like we don't have enough for an ending, because I think I know the ending was like taking a lot of butterflies, stuff like that. But it's like I don't know if we have enough time to do the whole figure out that Waller's doing something shady behind his back using a bio, and then we go that route. But maybe it is. Maybe he just finds out and he tells her to fuck off, and they don't interact till another season, right? And that's the whole thing where maybe she needs Peacemaker's help, and he's really reluctant to help her because the past. So it's good. Like all the stuff, like that's the best thing of like these butterflies. Yes, they're a big threat, but I feel like they're not going too overboard. Where I feel like we've talked about other shows where it's like Hawkeye, when it's like, okay, how can we end all this stuff satisfactory? All the storylines that are working right now are pretty not minor, but just on a smaller scale. So I like that, because like I don't feel like like the storyline of Diebeard and Peacemaker is just they got to become friendly, and that's very easy to do as they're starting to become friendly, right? A bio, they've already set up a bunch of stuff that why Peacemaker might catch her being shady, so Harcourt, I don't know if they'll pull the trigger on the romance this season, but if they wanted to, they could, because they started to lay the groundwork. So it's well done that way. So I'm not worried about the next 3 episodes feeling like, oh, even Dexter, when we got to that point, like, man, do we have enough time? Right now, I don't feel that way.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Since we're talking Adebayo, do you want to talk about the ending of this
That's
episode?
what I was going to go to. Yeah. So, like, really good setup as far as she puts the X-ray helmet, and I think every viewer, the second she puts it on, you just know, oh, she's fucked. To me, it was just like, how long until she's fucked, because she's looking around. And at first, the way they did the shot, which I kind of like, that she looked at him, and oh man, what's his Mur? It's Mur, right? It's Mern, but then some people call him Mur for short, I think, right? We established that.
Let's go Mr. Mern, because I think that's what she said, like right at the end.
Yeah. So they do this thing where she's looking around the room, and then they establish, okay, X-ray helmet, sees the butterflies, and she looks, and he's in a different room and sees the butterflies. And I thought, oh, is he not going to notice? And she's going to tell this to the team. But no, he just fucking flips out, and he's like moving really scary.
Did the screech.
Yeah. And X-ray looked even scarier. And now she's kidnapped. I don't know. And this is where we're going to get to of like, is she going to get a butterfly in her? Is Mr. Murren gonna keep her alive? If so, why would he keep her alive? Is that going to be just plot armor, or is that going to be there's some control of the normal person? I think next week's going to be a lot of exposition, probably clearly on Mr. Murren, and lots of like the butterflies and maybe what their goal is and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine she just wins that that interaction.
No.
That would just not be good storytelling. So, yeah, that could be an interesting I feel like that's kind of the only way to go, actually, is just putting a butterfly in her. Because otherwise, just immediately... that's definitely the way it's going to go.
But we haven't proven that you can survive that. So that's my only reluctance of saying that's going to happen, right? Because what if you're just stuck like that forever and there is something bad? So that's why I feel like I'm still reluctant for her to say. And plus, I don't even know, like, do the other butterflies just produce another butterfly? Or, how does that happen? I have no idea.
That hasn't been explained so far. Another thing that's lingering around that I'm just waiting for, like a big impact, is actually Peacemaker's butterfly. I feel like that's going to be, for whatever reason, it's just going to be his new Eagly. Like, he just has a way with these animals. And I think it'll have some story element of, oh, this is the good butterfly, and for whatever reason, it just helps him just dealing with the other butterflies. That's just kind of my feeling I'm getting. And I think maybe he's going to use that in a way to help Adebayo, because I definitely think Mern is going to perish by the end of this season. But I'm agreeing with you on Adebayo. I think she has too much like weight on her character to like story-wise to just kill her off. I think that would just be major wasting, because then you just lose a tie to Waller. You lose, like we had the moments with Peacemaker, but I still think there's a more there. And if we just killed her off, you would just completely lose out on what you're saying, like the splintering of that relationship, which again is just good story potential. So
yeah, if they were to kill her off, that would be real. That would be a huge misstep in my opinion. If they just found her like, oh, she died, and like, I guess you could be like, oh yeah, Walter's gonna come back pissed, and what happened to her daughter? But I feel like there's other ways to do that storyline.
She'll
You
be
can still,
pissed.
yeah,
Either way.
yeah. No, that's what I mean. Like, I feel like, and it is funny because we talked about this with Scott on the vodka stream, where he points out like, hey, like. Waller is famous for like her kids do get killed, her husband do get killed, but I just
Right.
don't think this is the time or place to do. Like I said, I feel like there's other ways you can make even her just get shot and it's Peacemaker's fault and Waller's pissed that way. So I feel like if they were to kill her off right now, there's lots of stuff they're leaving on the table. So. Kirkland, do you have anything else? I'm gonna look through my notes because then you can go and then I can go, and then we're gonna let the man, the myth, the legend, who has returned, Mister what is it, 2.6.
I don't know how long I'm back for.
Exactly. So that's why I'm just gonna let you. Let's
Yeah,
see.
no, I have nothing else to add. Take her away.
Yeah, go away. Or
Where am I
take
going
it.
with this?
Take
Go away.
Go away.
Go away. Go
I'm
away.
out.
Oh, my last point is. Oh Jesus. My last point is I didn't really. I haven't really enjoyed much of the White Dragon and the cops back and forth. Like I thought it was fun the first time when they arrested and they're making like the racial barbs at one another, but I don't know. It's just like now I'm not really into the storyline too either. Of just. I guess I don't really care about this cop trying to be good. Like I could honestly just take this out and be fine with it. Maybe they'll give me a reason to care, but not really anything for me. So, yeah. Phil, go. We've talked about I think everything this episode. So
I gotta pile in as much as I can. Shit.
Yep.
Oh man, yeah, White Dragon. Furthers the story along. That's
You didn't even talk about White
Dragon.
I just did.
He just did.
I was listening.
White Dragon, yeah, staying in jail because they're obviously playing some higher up game there, replacing the cop, or the sheriff,
Commissioner,
or the captain, commissioner. What else? Yeah, it's just it was cool to see the growing squad aspect in this. I like that dynamic a lot. It was cool and just form that bond with everyone. I liked Economos getting his like one up on the ape, the gorilla, just him doing that whole chainsaw thing was absolutely bonkers. Right, that chainsaw. That's what we started off with.
Yeah, that's where we were about 30 minutes ago. Yeah.
Right.
What did you think
yeah.
about the entrance into that building scene?
I liked it a lot. The whole thing just reminded me of like zombies, just when they were
Absolutely.
caught,
They're
and it was
fast zombies
terrifying.
too.
They were fast zombies.
What's this-
Screeching,
Freaky.
just
What's this
leaping through
dude-
the window.
What did he call it again? The grenade? I can't remember. He had some like funky name for it. The big bomb. He's like, and she's
Yeah, I
like,
forget what it was called.
can that kill that many? He's like, I don't know, but I just made it this morning, so we'll find out. No, I was talking about the very beginning when Abayo was having that conversation with the old lady. How'd you feel with that?
Oh, I laughed. I shouldn't have laughed, but I really laughed because I felt
Oh,
like
you should have
her
laughed.
mannerisms just felt inhuman, and so as soon as he just popped off, I laughed. It was great.
What else, sir?
Gosh, I really, I think that whole action sequence was just fantastic as they're just kind of cruising through. Although beforehand, I really did like, or was it before or was it after when Vigilante? Oh, it was after when they were talking about, okay, so they can go into animals now. It's like, oh, Vigilante's like, what if it goes into like a Chihuahua? It'd be cool,
That
right?
worked for
And
me
she's
as
like,
well.
no, it's not. Like, well, what do you think? You think it'd be cool? No. Well, there you go. There's your answer. Like, it was just like, what the fuck is going on? And he's just laughing about it.
Kirkland agreed with you. You're
I
quite
agreed.
like that.
It worked. It worked for me big time.
Mhm. Yeah. Anything else you want to shout out?
Am I losing? Am I losing yet?
No, you're here. I'm just laughing because everything we did talk about everything. Is there anything that you'd bring up? Like, I feel like we're not responding to, but it would just be me and Kirkland like repeating ourselves. So I'm trying to like
That's okay.
tiptoe like
That's okay.
tiptoe the
Tiptoe.
way around it. I'm trying to think of anything else. What do you think about the ending with the bio? What do you think her fate's gonna be?
I really don't know. I mean, she's gonna. I could see her maybe getting like infected or something like that with one of the bugs, the butterflies. But I mean, ideally, I hope that isn't the case because I'm curious as to what this guy's objective is. What is he? Is he like turning on his race? He gave them a lot of information, so I'm curious what his goal is exactly.
Armarian, we're not going to talk about that today because we're doing the Peacemaker review. But you know what? We might talk about it on a newscast, or we might talk about check out DC Alliance. He was just asking about Matt Reeves' comments about Ben Affleck's script, and I know he said it was a good script and it's more action packed, and that to me makes sense with what he got with Ben Affleck. You know, so we might talk about that another day. That's what the newscasts are for. I'm trying to think what else did we talk about that we didn't ask you. We went over the zombies, went over that. I
The
think
little
we did.
bonding moment with Adebayo and Peacemaker.
Yeah, we were talking.
trailer
What did
scene.
you take from the journal moment?
Well, I'm
Like,
trying
why
to
do you think
remember
she
what
got
the
that journal? You know, and why? Like, she was trying to put it back so he didn't know. But like, why do you think she needed that?
I have no idea. I kind of forgot that was like in the storyline here that had to be put back because I couldn't remember where it appeared first.
Yeah, I could. Me and Kirkland were iffy on that too. But you know, I like that she was trying multiple spots. You know, she just couldn't decide what was the best thing. And he also made a bio that terrible drink as well. So there you go.
And even that drink he had at the very beginning, that was like some sort of hangover drink. And like
Yeah.
that was John Cena drinking an egg raw. Like that was good on
That's
him.
easy. I do
Is
that.
it
all
easy,
the time.
Taylor?
I wouldn't do it.
Just slugging back a raw egg. Is that easy to do? I've never
Uh,
done it. I've never attempted it, so maybe it is easy. It's just
So the key is, and people, S-Bubs, if you ever listen to this, I'm sure there's some sound clip you can take out. But as long as you can swallow it and not break the yolk at all, you're completely fine. Like, you're not even going to taste it. You might get like a little like, but I've probably done it. No, I don't do it all the time. I do it when I'm bulking. But since 2011, I've done it quite a few times in like a single year or something like that. So it's an easy
so
go.
how
but
many do you do in a cup? Just
depends
one?
depends what bulk mode. I've done 2 before. I've done
Let's
2.
say fucking you want to be Cavill as Superman. You're trying to get that. How many eggs is that?
That's the whole carton, baby.
The whole carton.
That's everything. No,
So
I
you just don't taste anything, eh? That's weird.
No, you
It
have a
just
little bit,
slides
but
right down.
But here's the thing, and this is where the cut will come. If you screw up the swallow and it's a little too slow, you gotta because you know how sometimes you swallow and then you can't swallow with the same strength that you could before. You gotta like let it build up a little bit. If you like half swallow, you don't know. Try and swallow like twice to back, like twice in a row. The second swallow will be less powerful, right?
Like 2 gulps. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, like it takes longer
Like,
and everything like that.
gulp.
Yeah.
Like the
So
first
you wanna,
one's yeah, okay.
Yeah, you want to get it in that first one, and then it just goes right down the gullet. So it's just like, and just right in there. If you have a weak swallow, that's where it might get caught, and that's where you're tasting it. And like I said, you don't want the yolk to break because you kind of got that going. Like, so it's all in the art of you gotta just make your mouth like a waterfall.
Do you put anything else in it or just egg?
No, well, like you could do. See, that's where you get the taste. For some people, sometimes like they mix in the protein shake, but that's when you're getting the taste of it. I'd rather just drink it. You get a little taste, you move on. Usually, you just drink the egg. That's it. You know, you don't.
I
mix
gotta
with
try
anything
this
else.
now. I'm too intrigued.
Well, I don't know why you would do it if you're not working out, because then you're just drinking a fucking egg, and that doesn't
I
make
just
much
wanna
sense. You
try
might
it.
risk salmonella.
I want to
but
know what it's like.
Next after 9, let's do it. We'll have an egg drink together, everybody.
It's too intriguing.
We'll do it live on air. What
happens if it breaks? Before
Then it's gonna be a great episode.
No, I'm asking you because it sounds like it's happened in the past.
It just tastes really gross. It just because then
okay.
because like if the yolks kind of get together and it like breaks in your stomach acid and whatnot, you're not tasting that. But it just like
No.
imagine like when you put an egg and you break it and you're like making scrambled eggs and just that all in your mouth or in your throat. Yeah, it's not appealing.
Definitely not. I was kind of asking, like, did you just explode? Did you puke? Did you
No,
Did you cry?
You
What
just go, oh, this is fucking gross, and you move
This
on with
sucks.
life, you know? Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, you know?
I have no further questions on this topic.
Marnie asks, what's going to happen with the butterfly he has in his home, Chekhov's butterfly? And Kirk was talking about that. I thought for sure a bio was going to find it in this episode when she was moving around. I'm like, oh, she's going to find it and think Peacemaker is shady or he's up to something. Oh, so we got that ending where she finds out someone else is a bit more shady, but I feel like what's going to happen is they're going to reveal for some reason the butterflies are not as bad or could be used for good, and Peacemaker will get use out of that butterfly one way or another. That's what I think is going to happen. Any theories for you guys?
Taylor?
Yeah, I don't feel like they're necessarily going to be bad. I mean, what if Batman has one? What if Ben Affleck's Batman had a butterfly in him this whole time? Who knows? Like, I think they're.
That's
gonna
what he
be
did,
Never saw
yeah,
him
in
slurp
2016.
soup or anything, so it could be.
Hey, Diana, look at this. She's
She's like,
tongue
ooh.
out. Yeah. Steve Trevor didn't have that. Anything else on Peacemaker episode 5 as Taylor's frozen again, you know, so.
He's not frozen. He's playing.
Oh, I thought he was frozen there. But anything else on episode 5 of Peacemaker?
I found a new meal that I want to try. I might not even wait for an after 9. He
Dude,
had Tabasco sauce too. He's spicing it up. He's
I'm
going
not
for the
doing
flavor.
that. Yeah. But again, there's no reason for you. There's no reason for you to do it.
Why? I just want to know.
Could,
I like eggs.
all right. You do it. You do it and let us know. I'm interested in the verdict and stuff like that. So. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Peacemaker episode 5. Taylor's Wi-Fi's gone to shit. Kirklin is gonna start drinking raw eggs, and I don't know. I'm looking forward to the fucking Royal Rumble, even though WWE's a shit show talking about John Cena. So we will be back next week, episode 6, spoilers review, and we promise you it'll not be boring.
Auf Wiedersehen.